Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to lesson number 13 of the 1000 English Collocations course. I am teacher Nathalia Harchak and today I'm here to teach you about study vocabulary. As you can see, I'm wearing something very different today and you're probably wondering, why is Nathalia wearing a cap, a gown and holding a college degree? Well, I would like to get you into the spirit of the lesson by making you think about when you graduated from high school or from college. And I would like you to answer this question for me. What is your academic background? Do you have enough vocabulary to talk about that? Can you confidently tell people about that in a job interview or on your resume or just in a simple conversation with people you have just met? Probably not, or maybe you are an advanced student and you already have that vocabulary. But even if you already know, I would like you to watch this video and make sure you learn some new vocabulary today, okay? This lesson was divided into 6 sections, but because this is the most complex lesson I've created for you so far, I believe I will focus on 4 sections here on the video, and there are 2 sections that I will have to go over with you during our private classes just because of time, okay? So let's see. The first section is the storytelling part. I would like you to take a look at the screen, take a look at the images I have, and then I would like to try to make you think about your own life. When you were a kid, or if you have children, how can you apply this vocabulary to your current life as a parent? Okay, so let's take a look here at the pictures. Daycare, preschool, kindergarten, elementary and primary school, middle school, high school, college, university, graduation, degree, diploma, and certificate. How can you apply these words to your own life? So I would like you to pause this video for a minute and tell yourself a story, okay, about the schools you've attended in the past, like when you graduated from those schools, what you studied, were you able to apply your knowledge to anything in life? Pause the video and think about that for a minute. All right, you're back. So I really would like to hear what you have to say about your academic life when I see you in class, okay? So right now, I would like you to focus on my reading. And as usual, I would like you to not focus on the screen, okay? So look away from the screen or close your eyes as I read and then ask yourself how much you understood from the text on a scale from 0 to 100, okay? And then after that, I would like you to rewind the video, go back to the beginning of my reading and do it again, okay? But this time you are going to look at the screen. You're going to read the text as I read. Deal? Let's go. Most children begin their studies at 5 or 6 years old in preschool, followed by kindergarten. After that comes primary or elementary school, which consists of 1st grade through 5th grade. Then there is middle school, 6th grade through 8th grade, and high school, which is 9th grade through 12th grade. After high school, you apply to colleges or universities to see which ones will accept you. You send in or submit your application and then wait for the results. If you got good grades in high school, then you might get or be awarded a scholarship to help pay the tuition. In college, you will take classes or courses on various subjects. You should always take notes as the teacher is giving the lecture. Some teachers may ask the students to give or make presentations or do research and write an essay, an assignment, a report, or a paper. After you hand in your work, the teacher will grade the assignment and give you feedback. To evaluate your progress, you will take tests or exams, and if you get the minimum number of points required, you've passed the test. If you don't get the minimum numbers of points, you've failed the test. It's also possible to pass or fail a course. If the course proves to be too difficult, or if you don't like it, you can withdraw from or drop the course. Withdraw from is the more formal expression, and drop is the more informal expression. Most college students choose a major or concentration. To talk about the concentration of studies, you can use major as a verb or a noun, for example. I majored in biology. I was a biology major. My daughter is majoring in philosophy. My daughter's is a philosophy major. When you graduate from college, you get a diploma. Afterwards, you can say you have a degree in the area of your concentration. You can have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or doctorate or a PhD, for example. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I have a master's degree in linguistics. I have a PhD in theology. So how did you do? Were you able to understand a lot of it? If you didn't, it's okay. I'm going to help you understand this vocabulary in section number 3 of our lesson. So now let's take a look at the third section of our lesson. This section will focus on the meaning and form of very important words from the text, and it will give you additional information about the United States educational system. Okay, because I was born in Brazil and I have a lot of Brazilian students, I decided to actually contrast the Brazilian educational system with the American educational system. And I know that I have students from other countries, and I did some research about your countries, and I realized that your educational systems are very different. So I was not going to be able to put all of the information I found in this lesson. So I apologize for that, but we are going to have to talk about that during our private classes, okay? I hope that this lesson is not too confusing because it's a very complex topic. Honestly, I think that this is the most complex lesson I've put together so far. And if you are confused about what I'm going to explain today, you are always welcome to come and talk to me about it, okay? I will be very happy to explain it to you again, no problem. So let's see. I have a table that I put together here to show you the different educational stages in the United States educational system. But here's the problem. There isn't just one system for the whole country. So I watched, I think, 5 or 6 videos of different people talking about when kids should go to school, and they also described each of these educational stages, and they talked about the ages. And I was a little bit confused about that because I think it would be so much better if there was just one one system, but that's not how it works here in the United States, okay? And so let's take a look here at the stages. So we have, well, daycare actually is not part of the system, but some parents need to go to work, and they need to have a place for their kids to spend to be during the day. And then I included that here just so you understand things a little better, okay? So daycare is not part of the system. It's a daytime care and supervision service for young children, and kids can be between 0 and 5 years old. Okay, and then we have the early childhood education. So we have preschool, pre-K, which is pre-kindergarten, okay, and kindergarten. So to go to preschool, kids need to be between 2 and 4 years old. And this is optional introductory education before kindergarten. Okay, and pre-K is the year before kindergarten. So pre-kindergarten education focuses on teaching important social, emotional, and verbal skills to children. So kids can be between 3 and 4 years old when they go to pre-K. Okay, and kindergarten is early education that focuses on basic skills. And typically, kindergarten is considered to be part of the elementary school system. Okay, so I wasn't able to include kindergarten into this section, but think of kindergarten as the first year of elementary school, right? Even though it's like part of the early childhood education. I don't know if that makes sense, but kids are usually between 5 and 6 years old. Then we have basic education in reading, writing, and math, and we call that primary, elementary, or grade school. I actually found another term for this after I put this lesson together. And normally when kids go to elementary school, they are between 6 and 11 years old, or between 6 and 12 years old, depending on the state, okay? And this educational stage covers first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grades. Grade is the level, okay? So let's see. And after that, there is the transition education before high school, okay? And we call that transition stage middle school and or junior high, depending on the city where you live. And that stage covers 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And kids are usually between 11 and 14 years old when they go to middle school. Then we have high school. This is the only one that was the same for pretty much every state in the United States, according to my research. So high school covers 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. And it's advanced education before college. So if you want to go to college, you have to go to high school. And kids are between 14 and 18 years old when they go to high school, okay? And then when they graduate from high school, they can decide whether they want to go to college or university. So what's the difference between college and university? So first of all, college and university is for higher education, for a degree or career, okay? So if you go to college, a college has specific courses that could be, I wouldn't say basic, but some colleges offer 2-year courses. We will talk about this in a few minutes here. And universities have more complex courses, and they offer 4-year programs. Then they offer master's programs and doctoral programs. So a university has more course options for people who want to keep studying, okay? So normally people are around 18 years old when they graduate from high school, and then they can attend college or university. However, something interesting that I need to mention, when people ask you about this stage of education, they normally say, well, do you go to college? Oh, yes, I go to college. You don't have to say I go to a university, because college is a general concept for higher education. Okay, for example, I went to college. It doesn't mean that I didn't go to university. Yes, I went to college when I was, 18 years old. But I went to a university. It doesn't matter. You don't have to explain that to people unless you want to be extremely specific. Okay? All right, so let's move on to this table here. I find this to be really interesting. Here in the United States, there are some academic year designations that you can use depending on the year of study you are talking about. So this is something you can use for high schools and colleges. Remember, high school has 4 grades, right? 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So let's think about this. The first year of high school or college is called the freshman year. Okay, the second year of high school or college is called the sophomore year. The third year of high school or college is called the junior year. And the fourth year of high school or college is called the senior year. However, you can also use these terms to talk about people. For example, I am a freshman in college. I am a freshman in high school. You need to be specific when using these terms, okay? I'm a senior in high school. You're probably 18 years old. I'm a senior in college. This means that you are in your 4th year of college. Does that make sense? So this vocabulary is really common here. And then I have a note here at the bottom of the page. Please note that educational stages and age ranges in this table may vary by state within the United States, as there is no uniform national standard. Always refer to local educational guidelines for the most precise information. As I said, this table here just gives you an idea, an approximate age of when kids need to go to school, and this part is also something that is going to be different depending on where you live, where you study. Okay, now let's focus on this section. I would like to mention to you something really important. This table is contrasting the Brazilian educational system and the American educational system for colleges, okay, and universities. So, first of all, I would like to mention that we have these terms here: undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate. And they can be abbreviated this way: undergrad, grad, and postgrad. And we normally use these terms when we say, hey, I'm attending a undergrad program, instead of saying undergraduate program. Okay, Nathalia, but why do I need to know that? Well, do you remember in the beginning of the class I said that Brazilian people usually have a hard time explaining their education when they go to job interviews, when they write their resumes and things like that. So the problem is that in Brazil, we don't really use the word undergrad to refer to the first 4 years of college, okay? We normally use the word grad. And then if you use the word graduation here, grad here, you will automatically think that the next step will be what? Postgrad, right? But here's the problem. We use undergraduate here in the United States. Graduate is the second level, and postgraduate would be the third level. Okay? So pay attention to this, because it's really, really important you understand these differences. So if you go to college for 2 years, you need 60 or 90 credits to graduate and have an associate's degree. So an associate's degree is basically a 2-year college degree, okay? And you can have an associate in arts, in science, in applied science, or applied arts. And a major is required. So that's another thing that I would say that is really confusing for Brazilians, because in Brazil, you're not required to have a concentration of studies within your course. Okay, so imagine this. So you study for 4 years, okay, 2 or 4 years, but then inside that course, within that course, you have concentration, an area of concentration. So there are some very specific subjects that will prepare you for a specialization. Okay, so it's a specialization inside the main course. Okay, so that's something that the word major is not a word that is used in Brazil. So this could be very confusing for you. And then you can also go to, you can attend a 4-year program, and you can graduate with a bachelor's degree in arts or science. So a BA or a BS. That's how we talk about those degrees, okay? And you are required to have a major. So you need to concentrate on something. I'll give an example. So I went to college, and I have a business administration degree, okay? And when I was there, I remember I had to choose an area of concentration, a major, and then I chose business management, okay? And I could have chosen accounting, I could have chosen marketing, but I really liked that, and I wanted to go with business management. And some people actually can have 2 majors. It's called a double major. Or a minor. A minor is basically like a major, but you have to study fewer subjects to be able to specialize in that area. And to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree, you need between 120 and 130 credits. It depends on the university or college, okay? And look, your major requires between 30 and 60 credits. And the difference between the associate's program and the bachelor's program is that the associate's program will focus on more general education. We call the general education, general eds, okay? And then here we have general education electives. So these are topics that you can choose from based on areas of interest. Foundation, and it's also foundation for professional or graduate studies, okay? So if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you cannot move on to the next level. Basically, you cannot get a master's degree. So you have to graduate from a 4-year program in order to do that. So this is where things get confusing for Brazilian people. In Brazil, as I said, majors are not required. However, when people graduate from a 4-year program, for example, in fact, in Brazil, there are programs that may last 3, 4, 5, even 6 years, depending on the course. But anyway, because a major is not something common, people normally graduate from college and then they have a specialization course or extension course, and they usually call those courses post-graduation. This is the word in Brazilian Portuguese for that, pós-graduação. So this is confusing, right? Because we have the word postgraduate here. So think about this. If I am interviewing you, you are Brazilian, and I interview you for a job, and you tell me, oh, I have a post-grad degree, and you tell me the area. I'm like, oh my God, this person has a doctoral degree, okay? But that's not exactly what you have. You basically have a specialization course, okay? This is not a post-grad degree, because a post-grad degree would be a doctoral degree. Does it make sense? So please be careful with that. You are going to say that you are specialized in, or you have a specialization course in a specific area. So another thing that is important to mention is that in Brazil, there are two terms that are very often used to talk about this type of courses. We have lato sensu, which is basically professional-oriented program. And this is the case, this would be the case for this course, okay? Because it's supposed to be a course that lasts between 1 and 2 years, and it doesn't lead you to a doctoral degree, okay? So you cannot go to a post-grad school if you have a specialization course. You can't, all right? So now you have also the option of graduating from a grad school with an MBA. That's another term that Brazilians use incorrectly, because MBA stands for Master in Business Administration. Okay, and that's it. One course in business administration. So in Brazil, people say, I have an MBA in biology. It's impossible to have an MBA in biology because BA stands for Business Administration. So what the person really means is he or she has a master's, it has an academic master's in biology. Do you see the difference? So there are two very specific courses here. One is an MBA, which is a type of master's degree, but then there is the academic master's degree, which is a completely different course. And look at the difference between these two. So one is focused on more practical knowledge, more professional knowledge. So that's what we call lato sensu in Brazilian Portuguese. But we don't use these terms in English. Okay, lato sensu and stricto sensu is the other one I was going to talk about. Look at the difference. Stricto sensu focuses on research. So it means that you have to write a dissertation to graduate from this course. Okay? And so as I said, you need to be very careful when writing your resume or when you want to talk about this, because you can get a master's in arts, a master's in science, but these two degrees are academic master degrees, okay? This one is a master in business administration, which is a very, very specific course. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is the part that could be a little confusing for you. If you are confused, if you don't understand, please come to me and I will explain it to you in person, okay, in class. All right, so from these three courses here, as you can see, the only one that will allow you to move on to postgrad school is this one, okay? The research-oriented program. So if you have an academic master's degree, then you can apply to postgrad school. And then when you graduate from postgrad school, you can have a doctorate or doctoral degree. It's basically the same thing. And there are many different types of doctoral degrees, but the most common one is the PhD one. Okay, we will talk about this a little bit here soon. And what does that mean? Okay, so a doctoral degree is a specialization course based on research-oriented projects, okay? So because of that, in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, you would probably write this way on your resume. It says stricto sensu course. But if you're just writing this in English, please use the words research-oriented program to describe the same thing, okay? And obviously, the length of the course varies. It could be between 3 or 7 years. The number of credits can vary too. And you need, as I told you, you need a dissertation to graduate from this program, okay? You have qualifying exams, and you need to write a research proposal as well. Now, let's take a look at other words from the text. Apply to college or universities. So in this case, when you want to be accepted into a college, you can send them an application, so a document explaining everything about your past as a student. Okay, so that's called the entry process or admission. Verbs that are important for that purpose. Send in or submit your application, so provide the required documents. To have good grades, so if you have good grades, it means that you always got A's and B's on your tests. So high academic scores. Get or be awarded. Awarded means to receive, to be given a scholarship. So scholarships are basically financial help. So if you are a student and you have a scholarship, it means that you don't have to pay for a course. Sometimes people receive partial scholarships and some people receive full scholarships based on their grades, academic performance. Sometimes sports, okay, here in the United States, some people play certain sports and they receive scholarships because of that, okay? And when that happens, you don't have to pay for your tuition. So tuition is the cost of studying, okay? So every month, every semester, you have to pay for your tuition if you don't have a scholarship. Cover means to pay for something, okay? And then here I have some pictures for you to look at. Grade, in American English, we say grade for A's, B's, C's, okay? And in British English, we say marks. So if you hear this word, it means the same. Mark means the same as grade. And the word scholarship, now you know it's financial aid for people who have great academic performance. Let me see. College, I told you that colleges are smaller than universities, okay, in the sense that they have fewer courses than Then universities offer undergrad, grad, and postgrad programs. And colleges don't necessarily do that. Okay, so then we have some collocations that are important, like you can take classes or take courses. We normally use the verb take for that. Be careful because today we're talking about Brazilians and Brazilian Portuguese. In Brazil, some people use the word course as a verb, and we cannot say, for instance, like I am coursing business administration college. Like, no, you're attending, you are taking classes because you want to graduate from college with a business administration degree. Okay, so be careful with that. So take notes. So take notes is when you hear something important and you write down important information from lectures or readings. So lecture, that's an interesting word. So whenever you go to college and there are a lot of students focusing on professor or instructor explaining something, that's called a lecture. So the focus of the lesson is on someone explaining a topic. Okay, so the person giving the lecture is the lecturer. Okay, this person delivers an educational talk or presentation to students. So to deliver is to basically just do the presentation. Okay, give or make presentations. So you can present informal or research findings to an audience. So we have some keywords here that are important. So research findings, what does that mean, findings? So when you spend a lot of time studying a topic, researching a topic, whenever you get your conclusion, the conclusion is basically what I would call findings. Okay, so why do you do research? Because you have like 100 different people talking about a topic, but you want to minimize the number of topics into something very concise, summarized, right? And that's what I would call research findings. Audience would be the people watching you. Okay, so let's think about, for example, a concert. When you go to a concert, if you are there to watch a singer or a band, you are part of the audience. Okay, let's see, to do research, to investigate a topic in depth, so in details, to discover new information. Be careful, guys, the word research in English is uncountable. You don't do researches, you do research. Hand in your work. So this is a phrasal verb. To hand in means to submit. Okay, something interesting. People can hand in their work, and the opposite of that would be hand out. For example, as a teacher, if I was in a physical school, if I were in a physical school and I had like something to give to my students, I could hand out something for them to do at home, like homework, and then they could bring this homework done to me and they could hand in their work. Okay, basically they could submit their work. But yeah, the word submit is really, really common, especially if you take classes online. We normally use the word submit a lot. Okay, grade the assignment. So the word grade, in this context we are studying today, the word grade has two different meanings. I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning of the lesson I said when you go to first grade, you go to second grade, you go to third grade, you are in elementary school. So in this case, grade refers to levels of like your study levels, right? The educational stage, sorry. But in this case, to grade is the action of evaluating students. For example, I am a teacher. So whenever my students hand in their work, I have to evaluate their work and I need to give them a grade. Okay, so look, so grade can be a verb, and grade, as I as you saw here, can be the marks A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's see. Grade the assignment, evaluate and score students' submitted work. So score, same thing. We're going to use the word score to talk about grading homework. Give feedback. Feedback is probably an easy word for you. Feedback is when people provide comments or critiques on someone's work to improve understanding or performance. Okay, and then we have these 4 words that can be a little bit difficult for some people to understand. So a student asked me a question the other day. Can I just use the word homework for everything? Well, homework is a very general word. Normally we use homework to talk about kids, teenagers' work in elementary, in high school. But for instance, when I went to college, I never heard my professors, my instructors asking me to do homework. They asked me to do assignments, essays, reports, or papers. Okay, so an assignment is something general. Okay, I would say that assignment is like the best word you can use to refer to homework in general. So it's general tasks or work given to students by their teachers. Okay, an essay is something very specific. Look, it's a written piece on a specific topic expressing the author's argument. So you need to have an argument whenever you write an essay. So it's a composition. A report is something detailed, okay? Detailed written account of a specific topic, usually based on investigation. So for example, if you are in a biology class, a chemistry class, and you need to do some investigation on some specific things, then you write a report on your findings. Okay, so you don't have to have an argument, because this would be something really specific, you know, like science. You can't argue with science. You can't. Okay, so you basically just tell somebody what you learned. And paper is more complex. Let's see. Paper would be an academic essay. So as you can see, essay would be a composition. So academic essays are more complex, or written report on research findings. So basically, like it's like an essay or report, but more complex. You have to write more, and you have to use academic language, more formal language. Okay, so if you attend college in the United States, or if you take a course online, and the course is in English, you are probably going to see these terms at some point. Okay, I've already told you about the word lecture. As you can see, we have a picture of a person here talking in front of an audience. Audience would be the people watching someone speak or sing or perform in any way. And research, as I told you, is an uncountable noun. Okay, let's see. To evaluate would be to grade somebody's progress. Okay, then we have the word required, which is something necessary. Something required is something necessary. And then we have these collocations here. To take tests or exams. So we normally use the verb take for that. To participate in assessments or evaluations. The word assessment is just another word for test. Evaluations, a synonym for assessment, test, or exams. Okay. Why do I do that sometimes? Why do I have words that mean the same thing? Because if you are trying to expand your vocabulary, you need to know all the possible, not all, but like other possible words you can use when writing, when speaking. Why? Because sometimes people will use the same word over and over again. It's so boring to listen to people who don't have enough vocabulary because they always use the same words. Okay, so you can pass a test or exam. This means to achieve a satisfactory score. Now you know that score is the same as mark or grade, right? Or level of performance. fail a test or exam means that you didn't meet the assessment criteria, the standards or requirements. So if you fail a test, you got a bad grade, like F, for example, on a test, failed. If you pass a course, you successfully completed the course requirements. It means that you got good grades, right? And if you fail a course, you didn't meet the course requirements. So here we use the word pass and fail for tests, for exams, and for courses. Now, something interesting, when you go to college, you join a class, right? You enroll on a course. You have, I don't remember exactly how many days you have to drop from a course. So drop means to leave, okay? To leave a course. You stop attending a course early in the term. So you have like a period of time when you can stop attending the class, but this will not really affect your transcript or your GPA, okay? So what is a transcript? So when you graduate from college, you have, I have a transcript to show you here. So when I went to college, I was a really, really good student, guys. I was a straight A student. I always got really high grades. And let me see here. So I have my transcript to show you. I don't think you'll be able to see, but look, transcript. Let me see. All right. And GPA is basically it's like your points, the points you get for the work you do. And it can vary between 0 and 4.0. 4.0 represents 100%. So if you get 4.0 GPA, you basically passed all the tests, all the exams with really good grades like A or 100, okay? And I am very proud to show you my transcript because I graduated with a 3.9 GPA, so it was almost 100%. So when I graduated from this is my business administration degree. So I graduated with a magna cum laude GPA, which means that it was like almost perfect. Okay, this means like with honors. I graduated with honors, and yeah, that's it. But if you get really bad grades, your GPA will be low. Okay, so based on your GPA, you can actually be offered scholarships. Like when I was in college, I was offered a scholarship in economics, but unfortunately I was not able to accept the offer because I didn't want to move from Pennsylvania. I would have to move to I don't remember the state now. I think it was Ohio, like another state. And I'm married, I have a business, and I just didn't think that was something I wanted to do. Okay, but that's it. And let me see. So transcript is this document I have just shown you. GPA are the points that you get for your for your tests and assignments in general. Okay, and if you withdraw from a course, that's different. Okay, because if you are past this period when you can stop attending the classes without any impact on your transcription on your transcript or GPA, then you withdrew from a course, and that's gonna look bad on your transcript. Okay, so exiting a course before completion after the drop deadline. Okay, the period I told you about is called the drop deadline. Okay. Okay, most college students choose a major concentration. We have already talked about majors, but here are some sentences to help you understand how to use this vocabulary. Listen, I majored in biology. I was a biology major. My daughter is majoring, you can use it as a verb. My daughter is majoring in philosophy, or my daughter's philosophy major. So this is the verb to be, okay? My daughter is a philosophy major. Let me see. All right, bachelor's degree. So a bachelor's degree is a 4-year degree. And then you can use these words this way. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, and then you can use master's degree. I have a master's degree in linguistics, and I have a PhD in theology. This word PhD is really common, and a lot of people have no idea what it means. Okay, so listen. Did you know the term Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, derives from the Greek philosophia, meaning love of wisdom. Okay, its use began in medieval European universities, where philosophy broadly referred to the pursuit of knowledge across all fields, including both sciences and humanities. As the academic system evolved, the designation PhD remained to denote the highest level of scholarly achievement in any discipline, not limited to philosophy itself. Today, a PhD signifies extensive research and a significant contribution to knowledge in diverse areas such as sciences, engineering, humanities, and social sciences, transcending its original association with only the study of philosophy. And here I have two pictures to basically show you the historical roots of the PhD, like a bunch of people studying here in a college setting, in the modern PhD graduates. So as you can see, in the past, this focused on people who studied philosophy, okay? But then philosophy, which comes from the word philosophia, it's a Greek word. This means knowledge in general. And nowadays, when people have PhDs, they don't have to be philosophers to have a PhD. You can have a PhD in education, a PhD in another field. Does it make sense? Okay, and that's it. I'm not sure if you knew about that, but that's what PhD means. And now we're going to focus on the pronunciation section of our lesson. So listen, words that could be problematic for you when recording your lesson. Primary, primary, elementary, elementary, grade, grade, middle school, middle school, high school, high school, apply, apply, application, application, results, results, awarded a scholarship, awarded a scholarship, tuition, tuition, lecture, lecture, essay, essay, assignment, assignment, report, report, feedback, feedback, evaluate, evaluate, exams, exams, required, required, failed the test, failed the test, course, course, withdraw, withdraw, drop, drop, expressions, expressions. I wrote expressions, guys, but it's expression. Oops, let's do this. Expression. Choose, choose, major, majored, majored, biology major, biology major, daughter, daughter, graduate, graduate, master's degree, master's degree, doctorate, doctorate, bachelor's degree, bachelor's degree, chemistry, chemistry, and theology, theology. So now that you have covered the first 4 sections of this lesson, you need to ask yourselves how much you are able to understand now. As I said, this is a really complex topic, and this lesson has 2 more sections. But these sections are really high level. Look, I normally build classes that go up to C1 level. But because of time today, like this video is already 1 hour long, I'm not going to cover this section here in the video. So if you are an advanced student, you're going to study this part with me in class, but I would like to show you what I have planned for you, okay? So most people don't know how to use this vocabulary in structured sentences like these ones, okay? Then I have like different verbs that I would like to teach you, so you don't have to say I graduated from all the time, because that's what people normally say all the time. You have other ways to talk about this topic. We will learn how to use the different acronyms for different degrees. Also focus on some prepositions, because prepositions can be difficult for some people to use in complex sentences. And here I also will teach you how to talk about certifications and specializations, because we talked about college courses, but some people don't go to college. They get certificates for different things. And I have some sentences that I will teach you how to use. Okay, let me see. Specializations, majors, minors, and concentrations. Some sentences that are really nice for you to know when writing your resume, or maybe if you are if you want to update your LinkedIn account description. So this would be really important for you. Also, the conversation section of our class. Okay, we are not going to cover this here in the video today, but some people have a hard time just answering these questions about degrees, about their field of study, about their academic achievements and honors, extracurricular involvement, clubs, different things that people do, research projects, and etc. Maybe you studied in another country, maybe you studied abroad, lived abroad, you attended international conferences, maybe you want to talk about your future. And how do you talk about these things? Look, I have everything you need here in order to be able to express these things very confidently, okay? And if you are studying for the IELTS test, I also have some videos that I can share with you, so you expand your vocabulary even more. As I said, this was a very hard lesson to put together. This was the hardest one for me to think about because of the complexity of the topic. I don't know if you guys will understand everything I wanted you to know based on this video. I have a feeling that you are not going to, so that's why I'm offering you help, okay? Contact me in private if you want to get a copy of this section of the lesson I didn't cover with you, okay? And if you have any other questions about anything else, please feel free to contact me and ask me questions, and I will be very glad to answer them, because I really, really want to help you get this right, okay? Thanks for your patience today. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I'll see you next class, guys. Bye, take care.